NWA brought the age of destruction.
Damn. Jesus Christ.
NWA brought the age of destruction to our children and our culture.
Wow.
Period. Hey, I respect all of them as men, but as the art form, and you want me to speak on the art form, I'm gonna tell you what it is. That's where it started.
Wow.
That's where the agenda started, and that's where the destruction began.
Of gangster rap, you would give that to them?
And WA ran away with it in such a way where it was like, for real?
Word.
That's all we gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, it was genius for them and they made millions of dollars off of it, but look at what it caused. You
They
feel
said
me?
fuck the police early.
Yeah.
Cause I'm a teenager with a little bit of gold and a pager, searching my car, looking for the product.
Hi, y'all, and hopefully you can hear me. And I hear this airplane coming out here. I wanted to come on and to touch on this Drink Champs interview from Special Ed. Now, this is I know I said how I mean it, but respectfully, because Special Ed is someone that I grew up listening to, and I'm kind of side-eye on the comments, but at the same time, I realized people do have to say things out here to get attention, right? And to sell the interview. And so I'm not going to put too much on it. However, I will ask this question. How many times have you heard anybody from the East Coast give anybody from the West Coast or the South, or even the Midwest for that matter, their props? Right? It's always something that they're doing to bring it down, or they're slow, they're this, they're that, you know. However, you know, if they felt like they had something more to offer to the culture, they should have been offering it, right? You know, so I don't get it, but I just think it's people just feeling a way about things shifting, and they don't like the change, right? It's kind of how we say certain things about the people today that's doing stuff. Even though I still question if it's even rap music that's going on today. I think that is something else that people are just using a title. But, you know, that's a whole nother discussion. But I've had, hold on for a second. But yeah, now back to what I was trying to say. I don't know. I just feel like people they can't handle the fact that hip hop. Everybody else has something to offer to hip hop, right? Obviously, not only apparently is there a cultural difference than Black people from the West Coast, the South, and the East Coast, and probably the Midwest as well, and whatever. You know, it was just a different way that people lived. I hope this don't break up, because anyway, right. And because I grew up in Los Angeles, I'm not necessarily defending NWA, because I do have my issues that I started to take with them as I started to really understand who they were as individuals, not necessarily as a group. And then I changed the way I felt about them. But as far as what they contribute to hip hop, no one can take that from them. And not only is that not true that they destroyed hip hop, you know, the media, and I've said this already in one of my other videos, the media is the one who put that whole stigma of gangster and gang violence and all that stuff on NWA. And obviously they were upset with Ice Cube writing the song F the Police. However, you guys, there's plenty of documentaries out here already on the LAPD at that time. Okay, we still don't know who killed Tupac, right? Okay, so we're not going to pretend like there really wasn't social issues going on in Los Angeles. So they were not speaking from a point of view of telling anybody to go out and do anything. Their first single was Express Yourself. And if you don't know the song, please go and listen to it. You know, there's nothing gangster about it. But when you don't control the media, people can say anything they want to say out here. Do it honestly, make it true. Should people always fact check? Should people always look into things for themselves? And how one's, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, and I'm not making any comparison to NWA and Martin Luther King, but you know, if people would make Martin Luther King their enemy, I don't know what you thought they was going to do to NWA. Okay, and I don't really know how to break that down any better than that, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like, we're not going to play with this stuff. I'm not. Now, I think Special Ed is just on some East Coast stuff, you know, and he's just upset because obviously hip hop shifted to the West Coast. You had NWA come out, and you know, you had DJ Quick and other people. Hammer was definitely took hip hop to that next level. Master P, okay, who also spent time in the Bay Area. We're not gonna do that. You know, these people contributed to hip hop and made it and moved it forward. Okay, just like Run DMC did their part, just like Houdini did their part, just like whoever else was coming out of the East Coast. So, yeah, I don't think they destroyed hip hop. And like I said, NWA is also on a song. And this is how you know that there was no promotion of gang violence. They had a song, they were a part of a song called The Same Gang. So they actually were trying to help stop the violence that was going on, that was forming with these groups, because actually gangs started as Black nationalist group, you know, and to be honest, a lot of people, and you say it's a conspiracy theory, feel like the government created issues between these groups to create the fighting, to create the violence. Now, do you want to go there, Special Ed? Because we can go there. Okay, so people need to be honest when they're talking. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to defend NWA like that because I don't agree with the misogynoir and the misogyny that they carry on, the colorism and, you know, just the foolery. Some of that stuff could have been toned down, and they definitely could have came out and tried to correct it as well. But as far as saying that they were gangsters or gang violence, they were not. You know, I grew up in LA, and anybody that knew Ice Cube said that he was a nerd pretty much, right? So these people were not gangbangers. The only person that had any real street connection was Eazy-E. Okay, and we all know the NWA broke up. Well, I don't know. I didn't even see that movie because I couldn't support that. But you know, they broke up pretty fast anyway after the whole Jerry Heller thing, and Ice Cube felt like he wasn't getting paid, and he was the one writing all the lyrics. And so when people do stuff like this and they start blaming NWA for stuff, in essence, they're blaming Ice Cube. And Ice Cube is not a gangster. Okay. So it's a unnecessary conversation, but you guys can let me know how you feel about it. Like I said, I feel like Special Ed is probably just trying to get attention with even making that statement, because I feel like he knows the truth at the end of the day. You know, because he was someone who tried to paint himself as somewhat conscious, right? So I feel like if you really feel that way, then you know that Ice Cube gave us 3 conscious albums after the whole NWA ride, because he went to New York and hooked up with Public Enemy, right? And worked with Chuck D. So you know that he was never coming from this place of, I want to promote violence in our community, on our people, and I want to see us do self-destructive stuff in music. He was never on that. So I'm not gonna sit here and agree with any nonsense like that. Did they shift hip hop? Um, Not alone. Not alone, because like I said, there was Ice-T. There were other people who also got the opportunity to come, out of the West Coast. Like E40, Too Short. So, were everybody was a gangster, or was the media just saying that? Right? And as Black folk, we come from where we come from. We're gonna all be a little on, have a little edge on us just based on the things that we come through. And I'm not saying every Black person, because we all don't come from the same place, but I am speaking of the ones who come from the place that Ice Cube comes from and Eazy-E come from and Dre. Okay, I'm not making excuses for them, nor will I. I'm just saying, you can imagine coming from the places that and the things that we would see, because I grew, like I said, grew up at the same time as them. And so I remember being locked into schools too, because people were outside shooting. So I understand what NWA was talking about anyway, because I was living it too. So he was never speaking from a point of in promoting violence among us. He was letting people know what was going on and saying we have to do something about this. It's more of what they were trying to say. Now, can we get like the whole Dre and Michelet thing and all that stuff that was going? That's why I said there are things that are there that people can definitely take issue with. Then of course you had Snoop Dogg comment and the Dog Pound, and everyone that came with that Death Row label. So they've definitely made some big contributions as well. You can also credit Dr. Dre for Eminem, 50, and other people. So you have to, when you're going to say anything about NWA, you need to talk about their full careers. That's what I think. But let me know what you guys think about the conversation. Do you think that he just put that out there just to get attention, like I'm saying? Or do you think that there's some truth to what he's saying, that they sort of promoted a more street? Because then when I think about the song, The Message from Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, what made what they were saying any different from what NWA was saying? Because like I said, NWA was never promoting gang violence anyway. That's not true. Were they violent in their tone? Yeah, but so are a lot of people. And what makes any of this stuff today cute? And are you really saying that NWA is responsible for the stuff that's going on today? I don't think so, because they were saying the opposite of what people were saying today in this drill music. They were never promoting gang violence. And Ice-T and different people who were in the rap community back then were always at community events. What's his name? Michael Concepcion, Jim Brown were out there trying to talk to young guys. A lot of guys from the hip hop community were out there as well. And I know because I was there. So you can't even tell me. So I don't know. I just feel like, he was just saying that to say that. And then I do feel like there's just this level of disrespect that and I'm not trying to start any West Coast, East Coast stuff, but there is a level of disrespect that certain people on the East Coast just have for everyone else. It's not even just the West Coast. It's just like for everyone else. You know what I mean? If you guys know what I'm saying, let me know in the comments. How do you feel about what Special Ed said? Do you feel that that statement is true? And do you feel like hip hop was destroyed at any point? Or is it now? Because some people feel like there is no hip hop today, to be honest, if we're really honest. And there's such a disconnect between the culture, the art form as from the beginning anyway to today. How could you just blame NWA for that? But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm not going to make this a long video. And I will see you guys in the next video.